If I have to think of one word to define social justice, just one, it's a word we all learned in kindergarten. Fairness. Fairness. That's what it's about. And to me, that means everybody has an equal opportunity in this country. There's a level playing field. The level playing field for everybody. And everybody is protected equally under our laws. Everybody. And most important, we all are born with certain rights. As Thomas Jefferson put in the Declaration of Independence, as you remember, we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, among them life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. And that doesn't mean some people are born with these rights. A few people who are rich, or people who are a certain color, or a certain gender, or certain ability, everybody, every human being is born with these natural rights. And so I believe social justice is about protecting those rights for every single human being.
What is the most difficult thing about discussing social justice with people, since it's such a big topic?
I think the most difficult thing is that people misunderstand social justice. A lot of people think it's about justice for themselves, but not necessarily for other people, because many people are only thinking about my rights, and they're not thinking about the rights of other people. And so one thing that is hard to get across to people is that social justice is about creating a society where everybody is respected, everybody's treated with fairness, and a lot of people just haven't thought about that. So it's not that they're against it. Many people just have never been able to have an opportunity to envision a society where everyone is treated with fairness and respect. You're part of one of the greatest civil rights movements of our time. You, sitting in this room. You're part of one of the greatest civil rights movements of our time. But there have been others. In my lifetime, since I'm very old, I can remember quite a few. Well, not that old. You don't have to laugh. But I can remember quite a few. I mean, the civil rights movement to finally give equal protection to African Americans in our country is a very important movement. The right to give women the right to vote. You know, women didn't get the right to vote until the 1920s in the United States. And in my life, that's pretty recent. To you, that may seem like a long time ago. But there have been many movements. The movement to abolish slavery in the United States. But of course, that movement didn't work. We had to go to war to end slavery. Social justice movements work when we don't have to go to war. When we can, in peaceful, nonviolent ways, make the changes we want. Unfortunately, the country was not willing, many in the country were not willing to make that change and get rid of slavery. So finally, we had to go to war to end slavery. So there have been many important social justice movements in this country. The movement that you are part of here today is the latest, greatest civil rights movement of our time.
Hi guys, I'm Chevy.
Chevy! There are a lot of places in the country where we can go and make the case. For example, coaches, and they get together in associations and meetings. We need to go to places where people gather, teachers, administrators, where they gather, and we need to make the case to them for changing the school culture where they are. You know, every school culture needs to be addressed and changed. And we shouldn't just be looking at sports. That should be our starting point to change everything else. It's a good starting point, and it can be a model. So if we can get coaches and others who are leaders in sports to agree that this is a cause they're going to take up, and that all athletes are special, that I believe with you. I agree with what Chevy said, that I think all students have special needs. All students need attention. And when we finally get that clear and don't treat some people differently, then I think we will have moved ahead. We've still got a long way to go.
I think think talking to your education leaders is important, and talking to your community members, that the leaders within your community is important, and get them on board with you. Talk to your senators, talk to your mayor, talk to everyone you can.
I can tell you from my life experience, I'm working in social justice, when you speak, it means young people listen. I don't know if you realize how powerful you are. You are very powerful. If you go to your mayor, if you go to your city council, if you go to your school board, they're going to listen to you. They're going to listen to you. You may not think so, but just try it. And one reason they're going to listen, if you say, Special Olympics, Project Unify, I'm here to speak, they will pay attention. They know what Special Olympics is. So that door is open. But you have to walk through the door. You have to use your voice. And remember, when I said in the beginning that I worked to educate people about the First Amendment, well, the First Amendment protects your free speech, your freedom to publish your ideas, to print them, to give them out to people, your freedom to gather together as a group, to assemble, your freedom to petition your government, your school board, your city council to make a change. These freedoms are protected by the First Amendment. They belong to you. So use your freedoms. Use your freedoms. And this cause needs your voice, and you have the freedom and the opportunity when you go back to your community to go to your leaders and speak up, and they're going to listen to you.
So I have one more. If you know the Our campaign, if you know what that is, can you please tell everyone?
Okay, I'm going to let Sam and Clint, who've been working very hard on this.
The Spread the Word to End the Word, the Spread the Word to End the Word campaign is about raising awareness about the use of the R word, which I think most of us in the room know what we're talking about. There were some videos about it. And there has been 2 official dates that we had a lot of campaigns and everything. This past date, 3/3/10, we achieved 100,000 pledges on rword.org, and much more coming out. I think now it's over 130-something thousand last time I checked. So it's really awesome. But actually, Charles, I was going to ask you, given our experiencing success and raising awareness, how can we enhance this important work on behalf of individuals with intellectual disabilities?
In terms of the R word campaign?
Yes. In the Spread the Word campaign.
Yeah. Well, what I think is going to work, myself, is if we get people to see that this is something that helps everybody. And that's very important. It will not work just to ban the word, in my view. This is my opinion. You can have a different opinion. I don't think it works to say, just don't say the word. Because many people will not say it, but they'll think it. So we have to go deeper than just don't say the word. Or just, we don't want to hear the word. We should be trying to change hearts. And the only way to do that is to really have people meet people who are hurt by this word and understand why it's hurtful. And that's life-changing. Then people will not say the word, but they also will not want to say the word. They'll just remove it from the vocabulary. But that's up to you, because it's all about that personal relationship. We can make a rule in the school. You can't say this and you can't say that. But you all know better than I do how young people respond to that. They say, oh yeah, all right. And so out of the hearing of officials, right, nobody's around, they still use the word. Or they think it. And we don't want to leave it there. We want to change their hearts. My heart has been touched this morning by being with you and listening to you this morning and the words you've come up with. My heart has been touched. And it changes me. It changes how I see each of you, to see what you did this morning. And that's what we need to do in our communities. We need people to see how it hurts and then what they can do to make it better. Think about, is your school a place where people are cared for, where there's respect between people, where teachers and students treat each other with respect, where students are kind to one another and caring. If your school is not that kind of school, that's thinking big. We've got to change that to make our schools places that really take caring seriously, respect seriously, right? Responsibility, including everybody. This is what social justice is. It's creating a whole society. The word social and social justice refers to the society, to the community. And so in your school community, you've got to look around and see what's here that's keeping us from making change. Because the R word is just a symbol of a greater change that needs to take place. So you might be able to get people to stop saying it, but if your community, if school community, if your climate in your school is hateful, people are fighting, they don't respect one another, they treat each other badly, just because they don't say the R word, we haven't changed very much. So Joe is asking the most important question, if you really want to stop people saying the R word, you've got to change how your school is. And you've got to say, we want a school where people treat each other with love and respect and caring. This is a caring group here today. Special Olympics brings the values of teamwork, of caring, of support for each other, of working together, playing together. And I think, myself, that if we do this in our schools through Project Unify, we help sports in our schools become what they should be with the right values by bringing Special Olympics values to sports in our local schools.